Okay, in the diagram, two secant lines, line BE and line CD, intersect inside of the circle at point Q, which is not the center. They form angle DQE, which has a measure of 105 degrees. Excuse me. Angle DQE intercepts arc DE, which has a measure of 145 degrees. Its vertical angle, angle BQC, subtends arc BC, which has a measure of 6x minus 1 degrees. What is the value of x? Okay, so this is the inside the circle with the secant line intersections. So we know that each angle is equal to half of the value of its sum of intercepted arc plus its vertical intercepted arc. So let's just set this up. We have the angle BQE, so I'm just going to start with that since we do have that angle. DQE. So its intercepted arc is arc DE. And the vertical angle, again, remember vertical angles create this bow tie effect. So if I were to draw half my other part of the bow tie, it would be angle BQC. And again, it was given right here. Its vertical angle is BQC. So we know that this is BQC's vertical angle and arc BC is its intercepted arc. So this would be arc BC. And now we are going to use some substitution. So we know that angle DQE is 105 degrees. We know the arc DE is 145 degrees. We know the arc BC, since there's two terms, 6x and minus 1, I'm going to put this in parentheses. So I have 6x and minus 1. So then I'm going to jump over to the algebra calculator since it writes it out a lot quicker than I can. So 105 is equal to 1/2 times 145 plus parentheses 6x minus 1. Okay, and now click go. And notice that they first start off by saying switch sides. That is not necessary. You can solve with x on the right hand side. However, this is just how this algorithm works. So switch sides is what they do first. So multiply both sides by 2. How come? 2 times 1/2 reduces down to 1. So that's why they multiplied by 2 right there. And 105 multiplied by 2 is the 210. So again, this reduced down to 1. That creates a form of 1. 1 times 145 plus 6x minus 1 is just 145 plus 6x minus 1. And then they simplified, so 145 minus 1 is the 144. And then they have the 6x come down. So then they subtract 144 from both sides. So positive 144 minus 144 reduces down to 0. So 6x plus 0 is 6x, and 210 minus 144 is 66. Divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 reduces down to a form of 1, and 66 divided by 6 is 11. So then we would have this 1x. Again, the 1 is implied in math, so most mathematicians do not write it. So x equals 11. So when we jump back here, they do want to know what the value of x is, and that is 11. So what that means is if we were to put in 11 into the 6x right here, 6 times 11 would be 66, minus 1 would be 65. So that means that this arc measure would be 65 degrees. So 11 is not the measure of an angle or an arc measure. It is just the value that we would use to find that angle of the arc.